How's it going, guys? In this video, I want to talk a lot about Digimon. Yes, we had a little bit of a Digimon news drop and event. A lot of details on Digimon Survive. That game still looks to be a ways away. Saw a couple of delays, but man, we got a new trailer, and I am getting more and more excited about this game as we're seeing more footage. The next Digimon story game is still in development, so that's another Digimon title to look forward to. And Digimon World, could that be making a comeback? It looks like they are considering that, so we'll talk about that as well. And on top of that, the Tokyo Game Show will be held as a physical event for both business and general visitors. We'll talk that. But first up, let's talk all about Digimon. Look, we got timestamps, so if you're not a Digimon guy, go skip ahead. But I love me some Digimon. I talked about it briefly on this channel, especially when I talk about the World games, but the story games, but Digimon is the monster collecting, taming, whatever IP that I am more nostalgic with. Yes, I loved Pokemon back in the day, but Digimon, especially from a television show standpoint, resonated with me so much more. I even like the crappier Digimon series, like Data Squad. I had a good time watching Digimon Data Squad, but like, yo, Frontier, Digimon Tamers, all those, Adventure, of course, those were just awesome to me, and I loved them, and I just prefer the design of Digimon more, and the games are actually relatively good. If you go back and you check out the World games or the story titles that are on PS4, they are very good games and competent made JRPGs, but Digimon Survive is the one that I am really looking forward to for a variety of different reasons. It's more of a strategy JRPG, however, it has a heavy emphasis on its story, and maybe this won't be for everyone, but if you're a fan of narrative-heavy games and you're a fan of Digimon, this is one to absolutely have an eye on, as the game is actually going to be, as noted, 70% of a text adventure and more of storytelling, and then 30% battle. Now, that ratio might seem a little bit stretched, however, if the narrative is compelling, I have no issue with that, as long as it's engaging and it does the more visual novel-style elements well. It was noted what kind of story will be developed in Digimon Survive. Can you tell us about the worldview and concept? Also, did you have any influences or references in creating Digimon Survive? Kazumasa Habu, the producer of the game, noted, this work has a worldview that is a bit of an outside story for those who have been following the Digimon games, but with a bit of core fan leaning. The previous game, Cyber Sleuth, depicted the incidents that occurred when Digimon appear in a human society with a unique worldview in the process of creating the world of Cyber Sleuth. What is Digimon? What is the digital world? I felt that there was a discrepancy between the concept of digital as we perceive it and the nature of Digimon as depicted in the story. As an answer to the question, I decided to depict Digimon as a life form from another world that can be recognized and contacted through the digital gadgets of the human world as an image that takes this interpretation a little further. The director of the Digimon series, Digimon Adventure, Kakuto, told me that Digimon are ethereal beings that have been with us since ancient times, but the perception has changed over times, and they are fragments of souls that have been transformed into digital monsters by being recognized through digital gadgets in modern society. This is the first time that monsters who used to have an ethereal existence and interacting with people in the modern world. For this reason, we refer to Digimon beasts, monstrous creatures, etc. in this work and in promotional messages. Also, this is the interesting part, since the target audience for the game is the adult fans who are game players, the story is a little darker. Since Digimon are described as half of one's inner self, there are dark expressions that are common in conventional Digimon work, such as denying Digimon by refusing to face oneself or hurting Digimon as a manifestation of self-harm. If you are a fan of TV, anime, or other Digimon works, you may find some of the descriptions unpleasant, so please be aware of this in advance. So, looks like we're gonna get a little bit more of a mature tone from Digimon. I am really liking the aesthetic of the game, the presentation. Really hope this one is one they knock out of the park. However, based on the delays the game has seen, it has shifted development studios as well, and of course everything going on in the world is causing games to just naturally be delayed. This is one that may not be a 2022 title, and I know we've been waiting for this one for quite a while, but it was noted that it's going to take a little bit more time for them to announce a release date, and for me, that makes me think it's going to take a little bit longer. Look, I want them to slam dunk this, I want them to hit a home run with this, and I want people to really like it. I can understand maybe especially if it is a little bit too narrative heavy and leans back from a gameplay standpoint with the, you know, the battle mechanics and whatnot. That might turn some people off, but I hope and I trust them to find a healthy balance of the two, where you can get that compelling, mature, more adult-oriented Digimon story, and you can also get a quality battle system. But from a tonality standpoint, very much interested in this game, and I think it's one to have on your radar. Obviously, like, technically speaking, it's not like a blowaway title, but again, I like the art style, I like the presentation, I like the aesthetics to this. The trailer has a pretty nice soundtrack as well, and hopefully that, you know, carries on over to the entirety of the full game. But this is one I think you guys should have your eyes on, especially if you're a JRPG fan. Even if you're not the biggest Digimon fan in the world, if you don't have that nostalgia attached to it like I do, I would imagine that this is going to end up being a pretty solid JRPG, and that's what the Digimon story games were as well. They were competent, well-made turn-based JRPGs that were a little bit redundant at times, don't get me wrong. But speaking of Digimon story, the next Digimon story game is still in development and is set in the digital world and themed around the Olympus 12. It was just noted by Habu, producer, yes, we are developing a new Digimon story. We can't say when it will be released, but we hope you look forward to it. So this is probably a ways away, given that I imagine they want to get Digimon Survive out first, and you definitely don't want to be competing with yourself, dropping 2 games within, you know, striking distance from one another. But hopefully we do get another Digimon story game here sooner rather than later. Again, the first 2 were pretty good. There's like a double pack that's available that has both those games. A lot of reused assets in both games, but that's fine. The story I found rather interesting, and if you want to get into it, it's a pretty good JRPG. Not blow away, but pretty good. And if, again, you're a fan of Digimon, if you grew up watching it, I think it'll resonate with you a little bit more. It's on PC as well, and it's available on Nintendo Switch, so you have a plethora of platforms to check it out, obviously on PS4 on top of that. Digimon games producer also positively considering Digimon World Port, Remaster, or Remake. The World titles were the games that I'm super nostalgic with when it comes to Digimon titles. I spent so much time on Digimon World 3 on the PlayStation 1, and back then, I didn't even have a memory card for my PS1. I didn't even know that memory cards were a thing. The idea of saving your progress in a video game was so foreign to me that I was just playing a game, and if you die, I had to reset, and I always died to that goddamn shark monster in the beginning of the game. Thankfully, we eventually realized the beauty of memory cards and saving the game, and then, yeah, we made it through Digimon World 3, but I love that game, and I would love to see a port or a remake of Digimon World. Whatever game it is, I know a lot of people love Digimon World 4 as well. The co-op aspect of that game was quite good. Habu noted, if I choose to port or remaster, then I think it will be highly feasible. If you want a remake, we need to think about how many additional elements you need to incorporate into the game. Digimon World has a very good balance between File Island, the stage, and the Digimon that appeared. If we add a new field, for example, or a new Digimon, then we should treat it as a new product rather than a remake. I think at this stage of the game, you know, doing a full-on remake of the original Digimon World would be a pretty big undertaking, but also just a standard port I don't think would be something I would be that interested in, just because that game's going to show its age, but we'll see. Maybe they can figure out a middle ground and they can get to an area like the Chrono Cross re-release. We'll see how that turns out as well. Lastly, there is one more thing I do want to note. Tokyo Game Show 2022 to be held as a physical event. So it is going to be an event where if you're a business member or you're a general visitor, for the first time in 3 years, you'll be able to go to the show and, you know, be there live. The theme of Tokyo Game Show is also nothing stops gaming. Then there are some things that stop gaming, let's be real here, but we had to give up doing fun things one after another over these 2 years. How many times we thought what happened to our days? Even then, we still had games that kept us going, thrilling plot twists, captivating and heated experiences, lightened up our everyday life. Games became our hope. 2022 is the year to show the real spirit of games. Tokyo Game Show has the mission to create our hope and beyond. Update our possibilities. Unprecedented excitement is always born out of something you have never imagined. Let's open the gate to the forefront of games, give courage and enthusiasm to everyone, show your love of games to each other. So this is going to be happening later in the year, of course. It'll be happening September 17th and 18th. Hopefully, it'll be a pretty big event with notable reveals. You know, this is usually a haven for a lot of JRPGs to make their presence felt, one could say. Final Fantasy 16 update would be quite nice, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that one. I'm sure they'll talk about it when it's ready to happen. Or FF7 Remake Part 2, man, how long has it been? It's been 2 years. Like, I feel like it's time we get a teaser trailer or some sort of trailer for FF7 Remake Part 2, so that would be pretty cool, but we'll keep you guys posted on that as we get closer to the event. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, I know a lot of Digimon talk, but hey, this video was kind of for me to gush about it because it's an IP that I've been a fan of for a very long time, and nostalgia speaks to me pretty well. But yeah, Digimon Survive looks great. I think that's a game that, if it delivers, it could potentially expand Digimon's appeal from a gaming standpoint, because let's be real, as far as Digimon versus Pokemon, from a gaming standpoint, it's not even close. Pokemon is the far bigger IP, but Digimon can carve out its own audience as well. But yeah, so a lot of things going on there, and Tokyo Game Show 2022 to be held as a physical event this coming year in September. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.